3 new PvP maps released yesterday for free. Eventide Labs, Dissonance and Cirrus Plaza. Although these are just crucible arenas, today we toured the maps and discussed their backstory and lore. Eventide is the site of Braytech Corporation's main colony on Europa, where advanced research and technological experimentation were conducted under Clovis Bray's leadership. When humans would arrive, colonists, scientists, and their families, this is where they lived. For some it was peaceful, but for others they were just taken and experimented on. Whether it was through the ways they lived in their cities getting different sources of water and food, or through more harsh experiments like the EXO program, trying to convert their minds into those robotic bodies, which many failed. The colony includes facilities for developing exos and conducting other scientific projects. Eventide is portrayed as both a hub of technological achievement and a place of moral and ethical challenges. The Braytech scientists and engineers stationed there would grapple with the consequences of their work, especially concerning the creation of exos and the conflict with the Vex. The facility became a battleground for control, showcasing those ambitions and failures of Clovis Bray's vision. So Eventide as a colony was subject to Bray's experiments and eventually was overrun by the Vex. Eventide Lab seems to be one of these research stations within. We aren't exactly sure what specifically took place here, but there are some side rooms that may give some hints, and surely the main focal point in the distance, a fallen ketch. ERAMIS fell under the wing of the Witness over the last few years, initially driven by her main goal of restoring her Elixni and planet she used to remember. She would go to some extreme measures, even seeing some of her own members of House Salvation taken over by Xivu Arath's forces and the Wrathborn. In Season of the Wishes Nostos Sparrow, we learned that ERAMIS left and abandoned her goals with the Witness. "All that matters now," ERAMIS said, "is where we are when the end arrives." The Kell of Darkness activated her transmat, leaving a frustrated Kylaxis alone on the bridge. ERAMIS rematerialized in a wrecked House of Wolves ketch. The walls of the ship were pitted by bullet holes and desiccated hive growths. Only Hive and Lightbearers had dared to enter since it was shot down during the Reef Wars. She shook her head. What a waste. She stepped over Thrall and Acolyte corpses, picking her way carefully to the ship's navigation. Once inside, she opened an access panel and pulled out a centuries-old data core. She sifted through the archives until she found it, a detailed map of Rees, the Elixni homeworld. It was the same map that ERAMIS's mate, Athris, had followed out of Sol. It even included the habitable zones she tabbed as potential landing sites. By now, Athris might be Kell of her own settlement, living happily alongside their grown hatchlings, or they might all be long dead. In truth, ERAMIS hadn't wondered at either possibility for decades. But ever since she saw the Witness disappear into its portal, ERAMIS could think of little else. All her prior aspirations were made suddenly small. Elixni's solidarity, revenge against the Traveler, enmity with the humans, they were all irrelevant. If a second whirlwind was her fate, ERAMIS would suffer it as she had the first, with Athris by her side. So Eventide Labs is not only a reminder of Europa and Clovis Bray's past experiments, but also ERAMIS. She's been partnered with the Witness almost as a disciple over the last couple of years, but she chose to leave it all behind when it entered the portal. Head back to her homeworld Reese and see what's left, maybe find her family. She boarded a ketch and stopped here at the Eventide Labs to refuel before departing. Dissonance takes place in a pyramid ship called Essence, the believed pyramid ship of the Witness. We first saw Essence in the Witch Queen Witness reveal and would later visit it in Lightfall. The pyramid is seen being terraformed by the Traveler, which would cause several issues. Nezarec, the final god of pain, was accidentally revived and now had the powers of light and darkness, so the Root of Nightmares raid was us putting an end to that. As we travel through the ship, the light and dark collide even more and grow this tree of silver wings. In Dissonance, the place is still transformed. It gives us more of an insight into this communion of light and dark and artifacts in the Witness's possession. This pyramid ship contains many mysteries. Like Rock's sunken ship in the Throne World, Essence has many artifacts, creatures, and locations. There are also many urns scattered throughout the raid that also give you an entry to the Inspiral lorebook when you find them. Each urn contains a memory of a past civilization through darkness that the precursors encountered or destroyed, even texts from long-dead disciples. This crucible map or pyramid in Essence also has a veiled statue within. First couple of times playing this map I didn't even realize it, but then when you look up, you'll see this. The veiled statues are found around the Destiny universe. On this Essence pyramid ship, this is the second one we found. There's also another one in the raid. From what we can gather, these statues have been used in the past to communicate. They also may represent that final shape the Witness seeks, Traveler and Veil coming together to create the final shape. A feminine figure which the Traveler is often referred to with a literal veil over its head. But those are just some thoughts from the past. Cirrus Plaza is probably one we have the least information on. This appears to be a mall-like area in the city of Neomuna. Despite the Cloud Arc and digital lives of the Neomuni people, places like this still exist for them to socialize, shop, and explore. The capital city of Neptune is huge, and unfortunately we only got to explore a small part of it in the Lightfall expansion. There's so many skyscrapers, lights, and buildings out there in the distance, maybe one of which we now explore with this new map. Within you can find a restaurant, a cozy aquarium, arcade, bar, and beautiful skyline views. But there you have it, Guardians, a tour of the new Crucible maps and some story of what lies within. I think the Bungie environment artists and map designers here did a very great job. Sure, they got to reuse some of the palettes they used in previous locations and maps, but it actually fits story-wise, and the fact that we can pull some lore tidbits out of these maps is another plus in my opinion. So if you'd like to see some more Destiny lore, news, and mysteries like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.